welcome back to another episode of the CamijoKnit Podcast. Today it is Friday, September 1st. It's finally fall season, which is my favorite season. I love it when it's cool and crisp and sunny and still warm and still cool at the same time. So I'm excited about this. Today it is normal Friday. I have had a business meeting this morning. Very interesting, good business meeting. I am doing a collaboration sometimes with a local leather worker. Her shop is So Sjelde. We have collaborated in the past before. So we just had a little meeting, so I'm a little late filming today, which is fine. I hope you're all doing really good. I just grabbed myself a cold beverage from the fridge. It's a little too warm for a hot coffee, and actually I had 2 cups already. Anyway, today is episode number 72. I can't believe it. And this is going to be a regular episode about knitting and yarn. And at the end of the episode, I will update you a little bit on what's going on here around the house. First things first. I got a new project bag, talking about Tine from So Sjelde. I know I get my own bags made, but sometimes I just fall in love with stuff anyway. And this is a bag from So Sjelde. I will link her store down below. I love that even though we have a few of similar products, actually we only have project bags. We still support each other's businesses, and I really have no business buying another project bag because I have plenty. I couldn't resist. Tine makes project bags from leftover furniture fabrics from like designer wear, Danish designer furniture. So it's some pretty amazing stuff. In the bag is whatever I'm knitting on at the moment. And let me show you what I have in the bag. First of all, I have another little bag from Tine. From another leftover fabric that she made. And I have a few things in here. Because I have some new yarn in the shop, I don't remember if I shared with you a new deluxe base. It's a baby alpaca cashmere silk blend. And I have dyed a few colors. I started out dyeing some blue because I had a Danish podcaster, Sissel. I was kind of trying to find the perfect blue because she kind of challenged me in the blue colorways. And I did find the perfect blue that Sissel liked and that I liked as well. It's not a color I think that's going to stay in the shop forever. I think it's like a seasonal thing. But anyway, since I got the new alpaca, I wanted to knit something with it, and of course I wanted to see if I can get any of my old patterns that I made before I started to dye yarn, if I can kind of mix the two. And I have, some of you might know, it's actually the logo for my business right here. So this is the Elvina hat and the Elvina mittens. And I did the first pair in Avetta and Tilia from the Danish company Filcolana. And the second pair, actually here on the picture, is Madeline Tush and some silk mohair, I think Langjans lace. But since I'm not a yarn store, but a yarn dyer, I was really interested to see if I could find another yarn, and also the other combinations you knit with 2 strands of each. So since you're doing color work, you have to do 2 strands of one color and 2 strands of another color. So I thought it'd be perfect if I could find a DK weight yarn for that, and I did. So my baby alpaca cashmere silk blend, which is not online yet. It will be very, very soon. I have made some kits available for the mittens. I will put these in the shop hopefully before you see this. I'm not gonna promise anything, or maybe during the weekend, but soon. Keep an eye out on Instagram. I always post all my news there anyway. But in the new alpaca. I tried to do the Elvina mittens, and it is just the perfect yarn for the mittens. And yeah, they're so cute. As you can see, these are just plain stockinette. It's not anything hard. It's not, it looks like it's a brioche, but it's not. And I work with one color as the primary color, so you can see here that the white is a little bit more obvious, is that the word, than the blue. And you can see when you see the hat, I did the opposite with the hat. I made the blue the more dominant color. So in the hat it's the opposite. And I did this just to be able to explain when I'm at knitting events what a huge difference it makes, which one of your colors will be the dominant color. So I wasn't sure if there would be enough yarn for both the hat and the mittens in a skein of each color, but I think so. So once I'm done with this hat, I can make the kits and just let you know if there will be yarn enough for both a pair of mittens and hat. And I'm really optimistic about it. I think I really needed some new bases in my DK weight category. The only other DK weight yarn I have so far is the DK weight sock base, which is 80% merino and 20% nylon. It's a versatile yarn, so you can knit anything in it. But I just wanted a more soft, lovely luxury yarn for hats and mittens and shawls and baby knits and stuff like that. So that is one. I have another yarn that I will share with you in a little while that I have right here with me, that I'm so excited and obsessed with this new yarn. I can't wait to knit something in that. But let's just do the what's on my needles first. So you see that I am working on my Elvina hat in stripes. It's still stockinette in the colorway Atlantis, but I think because this colorway is so close to my true blue colorway that I'm just gonna merge the two colors and turn my true blue colorway into this colorway and just call it true blue. I think that's what I'll do. They're just too close. So the Elvina hat is like my primary knitting thing right now. I just want to get that done so I can make sure that I have yarn enough for both the mittens and the hat, so I can put that online as soon as possible. And as soon as the hat is done, I can't wait to get back to knitting on my Banyal sweater that I am absolutely in love with. I think this color is just so pretty. I showed this before. I did a little progress, not a lot of progress, but I really need to finish this before the huge knitting festival at Fanø in 2 weeks. So if you see me on Fanø and I'm not wearing this, you're allowed to tease me a little bit. But hopefully it will be done, and then you can come say hi if you see me. I am working in one strand of the Donegal fingering weight in the colorway Tennessee Warbler and the Scallop Shell. It's like this cool toned pink that I really, really, really love. It's sold out at the moment. I will dye more, but I am a little bit behind on the dyeing because I just had 2 knitting events, one last weekend and one 2 weeks before that, and now I have a huge sale. Yeah, so I'm a little behind, and also I'm dyeing Advents, so, and I really need to dye the Advents so you guys can have them for Christmas. Anyway, the Banyal. Isn't it just pretty? I love the slip stitch Rowland. I think it's so pretty. And even though I'm just knitting in round and round and round, I'm just so excited. And I have this in my Sandy bag, which is Sandy by the lakeside. She made these gorgeous bags, and I was so lucky to get this one. I have one other project on my needle, which is really not like me to only have 3 works in progress. And I'm just kind of going, do I only have 3? I always have like blankets. I have a huge corner to corner blanket that not a corner to corner blanket, a huge Cozy Memories blanket that I have adjusted a little bit so it's a DK weight blanket that I'm working on for my brother, and I've been working on that blanket for 100 million years. And I have 2 crochet blankets. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. So I have 3 scrappy project blankets on the side that I love to work on, but when I'm really busy, like I'm really busy with designing and dyeing and getting things ready for the shop and so on, I don't allow myself to knit on the non-work related projects. So that is why I'm extra excited to go to the knitting festival at Fanø in 2 weeks, because I am allowed to do whatever I want when I'm there and not to knit on anything work related. The last project I have on my needles is the yarn from this year's summer sock box, which means it's not available anymore. I have one set from the this year's summer sock box, but not this colorway, the other colorway, which is like a green BFL yarn. This is how far I got so far. I think I'll just do contrasting cuff and maybe cuff and heel, or maybe cuff and toe. I really haven't decided, but not both. This is how it looks. I really like this colorway. I am kind of thinking about maybe I should next summer reintroduce this, because I really think I did something really good here. And sometimes it's just fun to knit with a pop of color. I think of all my dahlias when I look at this yarn. It was inspired by a picture of a lot of flowers in it. So I think it's a good summer vibe, and my dahlias are so pretty right now. I will go and I will cut a few every day and put them in small vases all over their house. Maybe I should go get some and you can see them. Or maybe at the end of the episode, I'll just film a little bit from the garden so you can see my dahlias. I'm really happy that they turned out good. And now the big test is if I will get them out of the soil in the winter and have them all dry and taken care of so they can go back in the ground next year. I love to knit on socks, and I love this yarn. My favorite sock yarn is this merino sock high twist yarn. I love to knit. Let me know what your favorite sock yarn is. Do you prefer the BFL? Do you prefer this high twist like me, the 80-20? Do you prefer with a little cashmere? I have a little bit of the luxury sock in my shop, which is like a merino cashmere blend. I haven't tried it myself. I really want to, and if I really like it, I might keep that base as well. But let's not get me going on yarn bases, because I'm in a huge dilemma. So at the end of the episode, I will talk a little bit more about bases, because I really, really need some inputs. As I said in the last episode, I have way too many fingering weight bases, and I really need to let some go and maybe have some new ones come in. I think that right now I only have superwash merino bases, except my zebra Highland wool, which really doesn't count because it's such a special yarn. And yeah, but let's do the yarn base talk a little bit later. That is all I got on my needles, which is enough because I need to finish that sweater, so I'm glad I don't have a lot of other stuff going on my needles. I did finish my I did finish my sock blanks socks. And I did share these with you the last time, but this time they're actually finished. So I just wanted to share and prove to you that I actually completed both of the socks. So they look like this. And I still have sock blanks in my shop. The good thing about the sock blanks that I have is that it's 2 strands. The blank is 2 strands of yarn. So you can knit 2 identical socks like this. I am very happy about these. I think they're so cute. I love this colorway. I call it Sugar. So as you might know, I do a sock set every month of this year. I have this month is the month of August. It's September. Shoot. I should really get busy dyeing this month's bird. I know the bird. I just haven't had time to dye anything. So it will not be ready to ship like in the beginning of September like I usually do. There's just been too many yarn events and I haven't had the time. But this is the Spetmeiser or the wood nuthatch. And I showed this before. I just want to let you know that I still have these available online. I think the only one that's sold out is the BFL base, and I have a few of the Camijo sock, which is always the most popular one. And even though I dyed extra of that base, I still don't have that many left. I think I have maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, but they're still available if you didn't get yours already. I'll put that back in the shelf. So let's talk a little bit about a new base that I got. I have mentioned this base before. So 2 DK bases will be in the shop, and I think my Camijo, no, not my Camijo sock, but my DK sock base will be discontinued. I don't sell that much of the DK sock base. I think maybe you guys or whoever it is just don't prefer that base for sweaters, so it's usually just a skein here and there for socks. And I think I need to let that base go. But we still like to knit DK weight sweaters, so I thought I would like to have like the perfect sweater yarn and the perfect like shawl hat base. So I have the Alpaca Deluxe base, which is the cashmere silk baby alpaca, that is so insanely soft. And of course you can knit a sweater or a cardigan or whatever you want on this base, but the drape will be a little bit more soft. So what I personally like is a yarn that's a little bit more rustic. And I wanted something to be not itchy, scratchy, woolly wool, but still lovely. So I found this base, which is a 70% organic wool and 30% linen. And when it's not dyed, it looks like this. So it's rustic, but it's not at all like, it's not like the Highland wool. It's softer than the Highland wool. I think it is, of course it's not as soft as merino. Of course it's not, but it's not, it's just lovely. I saw this base when I was at the huge knitting and yarn fair in Cologne in, I think that was in February or March. I think it was in March. And I knew that at some point I would have to try the yarn. And since the fall is here, I thought it was time to take this base in the shop and get this dyed up. I think I will keep some just in the undyed color because it has this really warm, compared to an undyed, the undyed baby alpaca, which is like way wider. You can tell that this is just, yeah, you can tell by yourself. It's like a little heathered And the dye will be a tiny bit heathered because the linen won't accept the dye. So it has a heathered look, but it's really not that bad. It's not very much at all, actually. I think I twisted this a little too hard, so it's a little. But this, I can't wait. I have decided to do, this is the colorway Elephant. I have this on my, I always forget what I call this, Mimo or Momi base, which is a merino mohair base that I have only dyed in this color because I used it for a pattern that I haven't published yet, but I will publish soon. But I'm not gonna continue to have this yarn base, I don't think. I might have just a little in this color because the scarf that I will be talking about in a second is dyed in this color. But anyways, I call this color Elephant. And you can see, depending on the base that I dye it on, it takes the dye differently. And because there's a little bit more shine in the silk and in the merino mohair over here, it has another feel to it than the more rustic, organic woolly linen base in the middle. No matter the base, I love this color. I call it Elephant. It has always been a color that I was looking for before I started to dye my own yarn. I remember there was an alpaca from Basic Yarn back in the days that had this color, and I always called it Elephant, even though I don't think that was the name. I don't think it had a name at all. But I really like this warm gray, and I think it has the color of an elephant. Hence the name Elephant. So of course the Elephant colorway will be a colorway, and my dark aubergine, which is like a very dark, gorgeous, I hate to say purple because I'm not a purple person, but that dark aubergine is really one of my favorite colorways. Let me just go grab that. Hold on one second. So this is my dark aubergine. So yes, it's purple, but it's pretty purple. Not to say anything bad about purple, but I love this color. I have been wanting to dye something in this color forever. I think I'm gonna do a yellow lichen on rocks at some point with a sand viper and this one, and then something in between I haven't decided on yet. But then I want to do like a hunter's green, and I might do a blue, and I think maybe a scallop shell. If you have any wishes, and I'm not gonna promise you that I'll grant your wish, but if you have a good idea of what color would you really like for this gorgeous sweater yarn, let me know. And please don't just write blue or green, because green is like 5 million different kinds of greens. So if you can do it more specific, or if it's one of the bases, the colors that are already in my shop, let me know. I would be really, really, really happy if you would let me know. So if you like the almond milk colorway that I have, or the blush, or the sand viper, or tomato, whatever, let me know. And if I get a lot of the same requests, I might listen. I was thinking about doing the tomato as well, because I love the tomato colorway. And I just read somewhere that the tomato colorway will be the color this winter. And why not be hip as well? So yes, I'm really, really crazy about this colorway, and not this colorway. Yeah, I'm crazy about the colorway, but I'm more excited about the yarn base. So you will see the alpaca deluxe and the organic wool linen in the shop very soon. Actually, I have some of the alpaca in this shop already in the Casey colorway, and I will add more soon. Also, now that I have this colorway out, I don't remember if I have talked about this scarf at all, actually. I don't even really remember. Yeah, I designed this while Esther was at the boarding school, so last winter. It is a very classic scarf. in the Esther sweater pattern with like these little cables. And of course you could block this more aggressively than I have done. And I think I might, in the pattern, change, so we got like a I think I will change the edging of the shawl to a, instead of a stockinette, do a garter so it doesn't roll. It's not that it's not a lot that it rolls, but it's still just kind of a little bit. So I think I will add just a little garter edging on this. This is in the elephant colorway, which is the colorway that Esther chose when we designed this shawl. I love this long ribbing at the beginning, and this is knit in 2 strands of the Momi singles base, which is this base. It's 56% superwash merino wool and 44% kit mohair, and this base I think will be discontinued, but I'm thinking that this scarf could either be so wonderful in this soft alpaca, if that's your jam, or even in the organic wool, if that's your jam, depending on what kind of wool that you're into. And that way you don't have to knit with 2 strands, you can just knit with 1 strand. And you will need 4 skeins of yarn for this lovely scarf. And I promise that at some point I will actually publish this pattern. Esther liked it. I have a feeling that scarves are they back in style, they're a little hip. And she would wear it, and her boyfriends, not boyfriends, but her friends that are boys, would wear it as well. So sometimes when I came to see her, it was everywhere. So I think I might be designing more scarves. What do you think? Is scarves something you enjoy to knit? Or do you get bored because it's so long? I think it's a good unisex. It's perfect for all genders. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about bases, because in my shop I have a lot of fingering weight bases. Let me just, for the fun of it, let me just count how many bases I actually have in the fingering weight. I have the Camijo sock, I have the merino sock, I have the BFL sock, I have the gold sock, I have the luxury sock, which is a base that will not stay forever, I don't think. I have the glitter single, and I have the single 366, which is like the same thing, but one with glitter and one without. I have the merino silk cashmere, which is like a luxury yarn. And I have the zebra Highland wool yarn. And I have the Donald Gold Sweet, which is one of my favorite yarns, the one that I'm knitting with right now. And then number 11 is this merino mohair base. So that is 11 fingering weight bases, and that's too much. I don't have room. I cannot dye all these bases and have like a good selection of colors in every base. It's not possible. What I really need for you to tell me is your favorite fingering weight base. So if you're gonna knit a sweater and you're, for example, gonna knit it with a strand of mohair, do you prefer a 100% merino, or do you not mind that there's a little nylon in it, so it's like versatile, you can use it for both sweaters and socks? Or do you prefer a superwash yarn, or do you prefer a non-superwash yarn? I do not have any non-superwash yarn that are fingering weight, and I am considering one, and I'm considering a baby llama version maybe, but also just maybe just take a normal merino. The problem with merino is that it's so soft. The drape is a little bit more heavy, so I would maybe like to have a yarn that's a little bit more sturdy. I don't know. It's so hard. But let me know what do you prefer. So if you're going to a yarn store, you're knitting, getting some yarn for you need a fingering weight base for a sweater, either alone or paired with a some kind of a strand of mohair or whatever. Do you prefer superwash, non-superwash, and do you prefer it with nylon or without the nylon? I really like to know. And how do you feel about yak? How do you feel about llama? Is it something you don't know anything about and don't care about, or is it something you say, oh, that's a little extra good, I would like to have that, or do not care? Because as soon as you add like yak or llama, it gets a little bit more pricey, and there's a lot of different type of knitters out there. Some people think it's too expensive, and because it's also hand dyed, it's even more expensive, and other knitters thinks that it's okay that it costs a little extra. And this is not about people having money or not money. It's about what you prioritize. So even if I was poor like a rat, as you say in Denmark, poor like a rat, I would still every now and then just save enough to get something really good. And some people just don't care. So I'm guessing that since you're watching this channel, you like hand-dyed yarn. So would you be willing to pay a little extra to get the llama or yak, or is the merino fine, or do you like the cashmere silk? And one thing is liking, but do you also buy it? So let me know, what is your go-to base when you want to knit a sweater? Because I have had some customers at the knitting events that says, do you have anything that's 100% merino? And I do have one base that's 100% merino, but it's the one strand of yarn. It's the single 366. And some people are afraid that it will kind of, I don't know how to say that perfectly. I don't know how to say that in English. But if you knit a sweater in a one-ply yarn, some people say that it'll just kind of twist. I have never had that experience. So whenever I have knit something in one strand of that single 366, I have had no issues. It doesn't pull or anything like that. Yeah, it's this base. The one ply yarn. I love this yarn because it's plump, is that the word? So if you knit with this, the yarn looks so thin, but because it's not plied, it kind of goes poof when you knitted it, and I really like that. So I love this single ply yarn, and this is a keeper. I'm never letting this go. And I like this one as well, but I think they're almost the same. So it's really hard. So I would love to have some inputs from you guys. Let me know your go-to favorite type of fingering weight yarn base. And also, if you haven't seen it, I have a huge sale on my webshop right now. I have a lot of colorways that I expect to be discontinued, or if there's just one skein left, because I have 2 more knitting events this year, and I really needed to get some of the summer yarns out, not the yarns, but summer colorways. And if there was just one skein left in a color, needed to get all that out so I can dye new yarn, because I have a huge knitting event in October in Fredericia, which are called Creative Days, and it is 3 whole days of knitting, any kind of craft, actually, like cakes and knitting and jewelry making and all different kinds of stuff. And it's a huge event. I have never been there before. I'm very excited, but also a little bit nervous. I don't have anyone to help me on Friday and Saturday, so I'll just be there by myself, which is okay, but it's always nice to have someone to talk to and help you. And also, I've never been there before, and some of the other vendors there are like huge professional vendors, so I'm afraid that my little booth will look shabby and bad, and so that is why I need to like dye more yarn and not have anything look odd. I need to have all pretty yarn that kind of look good together. That's what I really want to do. So I'm letting something go so I can have some new colorways come in, and also just make sure that I have enough of every skein or every color. So sometimes when I go to the yarn events, I'll have one in this color and only 2 in another color. But I think for this event, it's good to have like at least 10 in every color. So it's a little bit more, I don't know. I think I just need to look a little bit better at this event. So hopefully I will. And yeah, I think that's all. Guys, I have been dyeing so much zebra yarn, and it just disappears as soon as I dye some. This is the roller coaster shawl, and it has been so lovely that you have received it so well and that you liked it as much as I have. I like this 80s vibe that it has. So I'm glad that you guys like it as well. So I think this is all for now. Go check out the big sale that I have. I have both yarns on sale, but also some of my corduroy project bags. I have made a really good discount on these. So go check that out, and also some of my wool tops. I have marked those down as well. Some of my progress keepers. Yeah, so actually go get yourself a good deal. I rarely have sales like this. It's only because I really need to get some of the old yarns out, make room for new ones. And there was one more thing that I wanted to say that I forgot. Oh yeah, go subscribe to my newsletter if you want to be the first to know what's going on, to be the first to know that there's a sale going on, or if the bird is released, or pre-orders, or whatever. You always get the news first, which if you subscribe to the newsletter. If you go to my website, there'll be a little pop-up, and you can just put in your email, and you'll receive a free pattern of the Hammer shawl as a little thank you for following. I won't spam you with newsletters all the time. I write them personally, so it's not gonna be lots of buy this, do this. It's just if you want to be the first to know. I send out, I think, newsletters every 2 weeks, sometimes only once a month. It all depends if I have something to say. I don't just send them out to spam you. So, and of course you can always unsubscribe if you think it was something else that you wanted that you didn't get. So yeah, all I have to say now is give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Don't forget to mention down below your favorite go-to base for knitting sweaters, fingering weight only. And if you have any wishes and desires for my new organic DK base or the alpaca base, I have some colors in mind. Apart from the dark aubergine, I have other colors as well that I want to dye, but I'm just curious to hear what you would like. I will see you back here in the channel in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks I'll be at Fanø, so maybe I have to pre-record something that will come out, and I don't know yet what we'll do about that. I'll make sure there's something for you. And let me know if you want to go to Fanø with me again. I think I have made vlogs from Fanø last year and the year before. If you want me to do another one, let me know and I'll think about it. I'll see you back here soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye. Oh, no, before I say goodbye, I promise that I will just give a little update on what's going on around the house. Lars is still at work. He changed his schedule from being in Norway to kind of going to the Mediterranean, so he's gone for a longer period of time. Esther started high school. She's happy, busy, tired, homeworks, a lot of homework and a lot of social events all the time. I'm glad she's such a little social mouse. She loves it. And Nomi, it's hard to even talk about, but she left for Tanzania yesterday. Yesterday morning, they flew to Istanbul in Turkey, and from Turkey to Tanzania in Dar es Salaam. And she's there now, and she has no Wi-Fi, and she said she will contact me once she get a new SIM card for her phone, and that'll be in a few days. There's a group, there are 30 kids that are not kids because she's 20, so 20 young adults that are going, and they start out The first week they're together, they will be taught how to drive small motorbikes because they have to drive the bikes around to get to the workplace. She'll be living in a house with 5 of her friends, so there'll be a group of 6 young adults living together in that house. And they're going to be teaching at a school close by, and they have to drive their little motorcycle to school. And I hope that she will not be bit by a snake or fall on the bike. And once I go down that road, it's difficult. I have promised myself to put all my worries in a little box and put that away, because I can do nothing. She'll be gone for 6 months, and I can worry myself to death for 6 months, or I can just be happy that she's on an adventure of her life. And I have chosen the latter. So I'm not really, being a mom is just sometimes so exhausting. Not because your kids are bad or anything, but just because of worrying. I talked to my husband about it and said, he was a little sad because he's not going to see her for 6 months. And he thought that was the rough part. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's okay that she's gone for 6 months. If someone could just tell me she will come home in 6 months and everything will be good, she will not be sick or dead or bitten by a snake or a spider or anything bad won't happen to her, then I'll be okay. I can relax. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's hard. I thought that once they grow old, you won't worry as much, but it's the same thing. When they're kids, you worry they will fall on their bikes or get hit by a car. And when they get older, you worry they will fall on their bikes and other bikes and get hit by a car. Oh, this will never end. Actually, my mom is the same way. When we will go to visit and I drive home, she say, text me when you are home so I know you are safe. So I guess it's a lifetime of worrying as a mom. I do my best to not get too emotional about it. But I'm just going to put my worries in a box and really try not to worry about it too much. Anyway, guys, that is all for now. I will see you soon. Bye. Take care. Thank you so much for watching.